Let's be honest, nobody expected Dave Teddyqt Viaña to become one of the biggest stories of the 2026 season. When the year started, the spotlight was supposed to be on blockbuster roster moves, superstar replacements, and Team Liquid's attempt to survive in one of the most chaotic off-seasons in recent MPL history. Instead, a relatively unknown academy prospect suddenly found himself thrown into the pressure cooker of championship expectations. And somehow, instead of collapsing under the weight of it all, Teddyqt turned that opportunity into what might be the most surprising breakout season in Mobile Legends esports this year. Welcome back to Mobile Legends News. Coming into 2026, Team Liquid PH looked like a team facing more questions than answers. The departure of legendary gold laner Kiel Oheb created a massive hole in the roster, and the organization initially looked towards Indonesian import Sultan AeronnShikii as the solution, but after the highly publicized transition ran into complications, uncertainty suddenly surrounded one of the most important positions on the team. That's when Teddyqt entered the conversation. At first, he wasn't viewed as the franchise-changing answer. He was seen more as a developmental prospect from the academy system, a player expected to learn behind veterans rather than immediately carry expectations for a roster built to contend for championships. Yet within a few months, the narrative has completely changed. What makes Teddyqt's rise so fascinating is that it didn't happen through the usual superstar pathway. In Mobile Legends esports, fans are used to seeing hyped rookies arrive with massive followings, highlight reels, and months of community discussion before they even touch the MPL stage. Teddyqt's story felt completely different. Before becoming part of Team Liquid PH's main roster conversation, Teddyqt spent most of his development period grinding through the academy and MDL ecosystem. He built his reputation the hard way, through amateur tournaments, developmental leagues, and consistent improvement against rising talent across the Philippine scene. Reports surrounding his career show that he steadily climbed through grassroots competitions before eventually landing in Team Liquid Academy PH, where he continued refining his mechanics and decision-making as a gold laner. At the time, very few people expected that development path to suddenly accelerate. Everything changed when Team Liquid PH entered one of the most turbulent roster situations the organization has faced in years. Oheb's departure created a massive vacancy in the gold lane, and because of the timing, the organization had limited options available. The attempted AeronnShikii transition generated significant attention, but when that situation failed to materialize, Team Liquid needed another solution quickly. Teddyqt suddenly went from being an academy prospect to a legitimate candidate for one of the most pressure-filled roles in the entire region. And that pressure cannot be overstated. This wasn't a rebuilding team. This wasn't a bottom-table roster looking for young talent. This was Team Liquid PH, a championship contender, a roster filled with some of the most respected names in MLBB. A team that expected trophies, not development seasons. The moment Teddyqt stepped into that environment, he immediately had to learn how to function alongside players like Teddyqt, Sanford, Sanji, and JP. These are players with established identities, proven systems, and years of experience competing at the highest level. For many rookies, that kind of environment can actually become overwhelming. Some players become too passive because they don't want to make mistakes around veterans. Others try too hard to prove themselves and end up forcing plays that hurt the team. Teddyqt somehow avoided both traps. Early in the season, one of the most noticeable things about his gameplay was how disciplined he looked. Instead of trying to replicate Oheb stylistically, he focused on fitting into the structure Team Liquid already had. He understood that the team didn't need another player desperately trying to become the main character every game. The roster already had stars. His job was to make the machine function. And he did exactly that. While Sanford continued applying pressure across side lanes and Teddyqt remained the engine that controlled the map, Teddyqt quietly developed into one of the team's most reliable pieces. He rotated efficiently, managed wave state well, and rarely looked overwhelmed during critical team fights. Most importantly, he showed something every championship team needs from a gold laner: trustworthiness. That trust became increasingly important as the season progressed. The more Team Liquid won, the more opponents began testing Teddyqt directly. Rival teams understood that he was the newest player on the roster. Naturally, they wanted to see whether he would crack under the pressure, but instead, he kept answering every challenge, and the results became impossible to ignore. Despite all the preseason uncertainty, Team Liquid PH dominated MPL Philippines Season 17 from the very beginning. They opened the season with an incredible 8-match winning streak and eventually finished the regular season with a staggering 13-1 record, securing the top seed heading into the playoffs. Even more impressive was the fact that they accomplished this while navigating one of the biggest roster changes in the league. That achievement alone completely changed the conversation. At the start of the season, many fans viewed Teddyqt as a placeholder. By the middle of the season, people started calling him a pleasant surprise, and by the end of the regular season, fans were discussing him as a legitimate cornerstone for Team Liquid's future. That evolution in community perception happened because viewers could visibly see his confidence growing every week. The Teddyqt who entered the season was focused primarily on stability. The Teddyqt who finished the regular season looked like someone who genuinely believed he belonged among the league's elite players. You could see it in his positioning, you could see it in his hero choices, and you could see it in the way he approached fights. Community discussions throughout the season increasingly highlighted how he was adapting to Team Liquid's trademark aggressive style. Fans noted he was beginning to embrace the organization's fast-paced and calculated chaos rather than simply surviving within it. What started as cautious, controlled gameplay gradually transformed into something much more dangerous. That transformation might be the most important part of the story. A lot of rookies can perform when they are protected. A lot of rookies can look good when veteran teammates carry the burden. But becoming a true star is another step. You need to become a threat yourself, and Teddyqt slowly started reaching that point. As the season progressed, there were more moments where Team Liquid wasn't simply winning around him. They were winning because of him. His confidence and skirmishes increased, his willingness to take aggressive trades improved, his mechanical execution became clearer under pressure, and instead of looking like a player trying to avoid mistakes, he started looking like a player actively creating advantages. That shift completely altered how opponents viewed Team Liquid. Suddenly, teams could no longer focus exclusively on Sanford. They could no longer dedicate all their resources towards containing Teddyqt. Now there was another problem on the map. Another player capable of taking over games. Another win condition. And that made Team Liquid even more dangerous than many people expected during the season. What's especially impressive is that Teddyqt accomplished all of this while carrying enormous expectations that weren't even originally meant for him. Every time he entered a match, comparisons to Oheb were unavoidable. Fans constantly questioned whether he could fill the shoes of one of the organization's most successful gold laners. For many young players, those comparisons would become a burden. Instead, Teddyqt gradually turned them into motivation. Rather than trying to become the next Oheb, he started building his own identity. That identity, which is calm under pressure, increasingly aggressive, and willing to grow alongside a championship core, became one of the most defining stories in the Team Liquid PH's 2026 campaign. And honestly, that's why Teddyqt might be the biggest surprise player of the year. Not because he was completely unknown, not because he became a superstar overnight, but because he entered a season as an emergency solution and finished it looking like one of the smartest roster decisions Team Liquid PH could have possibly made. When you look at the entire season, Teddyqt's case as one of the biggest surprise players of 2026 becomes incredibly strong. The expectations surrounding him were modest compared to the enormous pressure he inherited. He wasn't brought in as a guaranteed superstar or a headline-grabbing signing. Instead, he was asked to help stabilize one of the most successful rosters in MLBB. Yet, rather than simply filling the void left behind by a major roster change, he became a key contributor to Team Liquid PH's success, on a team that finished the regular season with a dominant 13-1 record. Teddyqt proved that Team Liquid's winning culture is bigger than any player and showed that he has the potential to become one of the organization's most important pieces moving forward. Now, I want to hear from you. Do you think Teddyqt is the breakout player of 2026 so far? Where would you rank him among the top gold laners in MPL PH right now? And most importantly, do you believe he has what it takes to become Team Liquid PH's next long-term superstar? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more Mobile Legends news updates and MLBB esports coverage. Till next time!